What's up, y'all? Welcome back. 88 Fitness Live every Sunday, 06.
Bright and early.
Today, we're talking about the importance of post-nutrition workout. Some say it's the most important meal.
But is it?
But is it?
First update. Prep's going well. I'm officially 15 weeks out. This week is my refeed week. Whoop, whoop. So what does that mean? That means I get 2-3 days just to eat kind of above a maintenance slight surplus, just to reinvigorate my metabolism, keep everything going so I can continue to hit my rate of loss. I was starting to notice a little bit of a plateau because I was about 5 weeks into it. So hopefully those extra carbs primarily will spike that metabolism and get me to the rest of the way.
Yeah, if you're in prep and you hear refeed, you're
it's like the best news ever. Although your eyes are always too bigger than your stomach. But all right, post-workout nutrition. So first, let's just talk about what is post-workout nutrition. I'm sure lots of people have heard that, but what are the benefits? What is it exactly? So post-workout nutrition is going to be some type of meal or supplement that you consume immediately after working out. And the reason for this is to replenish the nutrients that you burned or consumed during the exercise and to promote muscle synthesis.
Right. It's some say it's extremely important because you're burning through all your nutrients if you get a real workout in. Not if you're half-assed and then you're not burning through anything. But if you literally burn through your glycogen stores, everything you have stored up, you do need to replace those nutrients. And your body needs those nutrients right then after your workout so you can refeed your body, refeed your muscles, and start recovering.
Now, I don't necessarily think it's important for everyone. I think it depends on what your goals are, what you're doing. If you're any type of like performance athlete, this is imperative. Like there's no way you're going to that next football practice, whatever, if you didn't replenish the nutrients that you tore down. If you're any type of competitive bodybuilder or you've got physique goals, this is going to be really important. Now, if you're just into general health and wellness, you know, it's maybe a little less important, but still important nevertheless.
We all want to make gains.
Well, we should.
Post-workout nutrition will help you make your gains. So regardless, if you want to make gains, make sure you pay attention to post-workout nutrition.
All right. So there's a lot of controversy on this topic. So let's start breaking into it. Let's, one, just talk about timing. Yep. So I've heard anything from a half hour to like 4 hours after you work out.
7 hours.
And you've heard 7 hours. All right. So regardless of all the research, it's unanimous that you need this post-workout nutrition meal. And so from most of the current research, they're saying about a half hour window up to an hour is really the ideal state, the anabolic window. Beyond that, it's getting a little too far. It's not going to have the same punch that it would if you took it within that half hour to hour window.
Agreed. And it's pretty much universally accepted at this point. It's half hour to an hour. I mean, you got studies, like I said, 7 hours and all this other stuff. But the majority of the studies, and it's been around, I don't know, over 20 years now, half hour to an hour after you work out. And post-workout window.
And I could almost tell, like after a workout, I really do feel depleted. And when I eat that, I can literally just feel my body absorbing that food and those supplements that I took.
When I'm in prep, I can.
Yeah, well, because you're depleted.
Because I'm so depleted, I can feel the food, the nutrients going right into the muscles, filling them back up and being pumped. Off season, when I'm eating plenty, I can't feel it. But definitely in prep, I can feel the post-workout nutrition meal.
So a lot of my clients say like, well, that's not really feasible because by the time I get done working out, I get changed back into the locker room, drive off to where like I'm past that window. Like, what do I do? Am I supposed to like bring that stuff with me? For a serious athlete competitor, absolutely. Like I would have that post-workout nutrition meal packed. I'd be hitting it in the locker room before I even got dressed.
How many times do we take our post-nutrition workout to Planet Fitness?
A lot.
And hit it right there before we even leave the gym. That way you're covered. Don't tell me you can't do it. You can pack it and take it with you.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, something came up, whatever, it's an hour later, you know, should you still take it? Yes. I wouldn't be like, I'm just going to skip post-workout nutrition because I missed my anabolic window. I would still take it. Even if it was beyond an hour, I would still take it. But ideally, you want to have it with you and you want to consume it as soon as possible.
Yeah. And some of the variation on the studies is when you work out.
Right.
If you work out first thing in the morning,
Absolutely.
you're already depleted from sleeping 8 hours. Your body's burning your calories, burning your glycogen stores, etc. If you eat dinner, or I'm sorry, you work out after dinner, you ate 6 times already throughout the day. You're still digesting your last meal. So it's not necessarily so important to hit that half hour. I would still do it. But like I said, you got 6 meals digested in your body.
Absolutely.
You digest for 8 hours. Those meals are still in there. You are not depleted on anything.
Absolutely.
So it also depends when you work out.
I also think it makes a big difference if you're bulking or if you're cutting. If you're cutting, like trying to lose weight and you're at a caloric deficit, replenishing these nutrients are going to be really important, because even just like a slight caloric deficit will create a huge difference on your ability to synthesize protein. So it is really important, because you're breaking down that muscle tissue, and it doesn't have the amino acids and things that it needs to repair it, especially when you're at a deficit.
Yeah, very important. Feed the machine.
Feed the beast. All right, so we talked a lot about the benefits, the timing. So maybe now we'll get into what is post-workout nutrition.
That was the why.
Yes.
And like I said, universally, you look it up, the studies are out there. Post-workout nutrition is beneficial.
Yes.
It's universally accepted at this point.
There's no question there. Timing window.
Timing window, you can argue, but half hour.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's break this down. Post-workout nutrition is basically carbs and protein.
Correct.
Carbs and protein. So let's talk a little bit. Let's start with the protein part, right? So this actually has controversy too. Back in the day, they would promote like extreme amounts of protein. I'm talking like, hey, you're going to get 100 grams of protein in. That's a lot. Recent studies are showing, somewhere in that 15 to maybe 40 gram window is ideal. And they say beyond that, the body's really not using that protein for muscle building. So it's just excess at that point.
So these studies have been around forever. I haven't looked recently, but many years ago, these studies were not proven.
Right.
They are hype, theories.
Yeah, no efficacy there.
Correct. They just say your body can't absorb more than 50 grams of protein at a time, but they have no research to back that up. So whether that's true or not, we don't know.
I mean, there's one thing you could say, if you're like me, you're like a 150-pound person, I probably need somewhere between 108 to 150 grams of protein a day on the lower end of the spectrum. So sitting and eating 100 grams in a sitting doesn't make sense. I've already met my nutrition needs for the day. So at that point, that doesn't make sense. Like I'm, probably not going to absorb all that. And I still have protein needs for the rest of the day.
Right. And use some common sense.
Right.
If you're a smaller person, you don't need as much. You're not going to digest as much. If you are a bigger person, Brian Shaw probably eats 100 grams every meal, 10 meals a day. Dude's 7 feet tall, 400 pounds. That's
right.
Just real.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of protein, you're going to want a fast absorbing protein and a protein source that has all 9 amino acids in it. So very important. Your whey proteins are going to be highly recommended over eating something like a steak. All right.
Why is whey the most important protein to take post-workout?
Tell us, James.
It's the fastest digesting protein there is.
Absolutely.
So it gets to your muscles very quickly, which is what you want post-workout, because you just burned all that. You want to replace it and feed your muscles as quickly as you can.
Now, in terms of brands, be a little careful. You're going to want to look at the label and see what's in it. Sometimes brands will not have all the amino acids in them.
Yeah.
That's not going to be ideal for you. So definitely check and find one that does have that complete nutrition. Now, if you're vegan and you're doing plant-based protein, it's probably not going to have all of the amino acids that you need. So again, you're going to, yes, and it does not taste good, but
I have nothing against vegan, but vegan protein is nasty.
It's a little chalky. So find a brand you like that tastes good, if there is one, and make sure it's got all of the complete protein profile.
Yes, amino acid profile.
But yeah, that's the main reason that you would do a whey protein over trying to eat chicken, fish, or something like that. One, that's going to be too slow. It's not going to be fast absorbing. And you would have to eat an excessive amount from your food to get the same value of protein out of it. So
the same BV is what she's talking about.
Yes, absolutely.
Whey has the highest BV value as well. So you're absorbing more of that protein than you would eating a chicken breast.
Not everyone knows what that means, so.
The biological value of
There
the
you go.
protein is how much actually you digest. So if you eat 30 grams of protein, you're not actually digesting all
Correct.
30 grams. You're digesting the BV value.
Right. So protein, important. Make sure you get a good one. Yeah, a little deep. You know, I like the science, guys. So, all right, next, carbs. This is where probably a lot of people go extremely, extremely wrong. So your body's already, like, you've worked out, you've already released a ton of hormones, your insulin's already a little spiked, and we want to use that insulin spike to push the carbs, to replace the glycogen stores you burn, push the protein. So in addition to it already being spiked, you want to eat the right kind of carbs to amplify that insulin spike. And this is probably the only time that you want an insulin spike, guys. You know, no one wants diabetes or anything like that. So
the insulin spike pushes the nutrients into the muscles. That's the theory. That's the idea. So you want that insulin spike after you work out, while you take your nutrition, because it pushes the nutrition into your muscles.
All right. So there's 4 main types of carb sources you could have. There's going to be glucose, fructose, lactose. Which one am I missing?
Dextrose.
Well, dextrose is a form of glucose, but again, so there's different ones that you can eat. Again, you want one that's fast burning.
You want the fastest.
Yeah, you absolutely want the fastest. Dextrose is a really good one. It's going to be a simple sugar, and that's going to be really important. You don't want a complex carb here.
Now, this is the second time we said fastest. First one was whey protein. The second one is the dextrose, the carbs. To the fastest. You want them fast. You want them hitting your body. You want to refeed that body.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. So dextrose is actually either made from corn products or wheat products. So that right there tells you that corn-based products are going to be really great because they're going to be simple. They're going to be fast absorbing. And so, you know, you really want to make sure you're getting enough of that sugar. So really we're talking about 1 gram to like 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight. So again, on me, 150-pound person, that's anywhere from like 68 to 100 grams of carbs. So this is, it's a lot of carbs. So this is actually going to be my heaviest carb meal of the entire day. I'm going to consume the vast majority of my carbs right there in that meal. And then everything else the rest of the day is just like a tiny single serving or 3/4 of a serving of carbs. And so nothing.
Right. And that's where another thing dextrose can help is you're not eating the carbs, you're drinking them. Because it's a big amount of carbs, you might have trouble getting all those carbs in.
Absolutely. So when you're at a deficit, eating the carbs is the best. There's no way I'm drinking those carbs. Like, I'm so hungry, I'm eating those carbs. So what do I eat? Again, we said corn-based things were best. One of my favorites is corn checks. Again, if you like turn around and you read the ingredients, whole grain corn, cornmeal, sugar, cornstarch. So this is a really great source of those simple carbs. And again, it's pretty filling. So I take a little of this and I put a little bit of milk in there. Yeah. So now lactose is a form of sugar, but it's slower digesting. It's not going to really contribute towards an insulin spike. So you really don't want to load up the milk in this particular case. But I just put a little splash in there just to wet these corn checks. Yeah. And then that's about it.
She said they're great, but they don't taste great.
What?
They are the best, fastest carb, but taste-wise,
when you're hungry enough, these things are the best thing ever. Let me tell you. All right. So
I do it just like cottage cheese at the end of the night. I hate it, but I do it because it's the best option.
Yeah. Another really good option would be honey. Honey is a pretty simple form of sugar. Sucrose, honey, yes. So you could put this on your corn checks, put it on something else. You have options. You could just take honey or put a spoon of honey or a couple spoons of honey into your shake. It's another option for you. Now this next one, a little bit of controversy here.
This one got us for a while.
This one got us for a while. Rice cakes. If you're into bodybuilding, you'll see athletes eating rice cakes and honey backstage. Why? Because they're trying to create that insulin spike, fill the muscles with the glucose.
Quick carb up.
It's supposed to be a quick carb up. But when you actually turn it around and you start reading the labels, it's it's made of whole grain brown rice. That's a slow absorbing one. Yeah, it's a slow absorbing one. And that's surprising, right? Now I'm not saying, you know, if you were to have one of these versus like a 9-grain slice of bread, this would probably be better, right? But at the same time, if you're comparing that to the corn checks are going to be better than this. Now, one thing you can do instead of doing the rice cakes, they actually sell they're like corn cakes. They're called corn thins.
Corn cakes.
They're not good. All right. Compared to a rice cake, they're not going to taste good, but their first ingredient's corn. And again, you know, dextrose is made from corn. It's a great, fast absorbing carbohydrate for you. So yeah, these not ideal, but maybe better than some other choices post-workout. You know, and other things that you wouldn't really want to eat, you wouldn't want like a bowl of sweet potatoes. It's complex carb. It's got a lot of fiber in it. Anytime you are eating something with fiber, it's slow digesting. So you're not getting that punch in the bloodstream that you need. So be careful.
You want it every other meal. That's
Absolutely.
what you want every other meal. Post-workout, that's exactly what you don't want. You want that insulin spike.
Right.
Brings up another point, cinnamon. Cinnamon is in a lot of things, and cinnamon lowers your blood sugar. So if you take cinnamon post-workout,
right,
you just crushed your insulin spike, because cinnamon does the opposite of that.
Absolutely.
And lowers your blood sugar instead of spiking it.
Yeah, there are a lot of times in the rice cakes. Yep. We really like Flavor God powders.
And cinnamon's in every one.
Yeah, cinnamon's in like every single one. So you got to read the labels there. It's surprising how many things cinnamon's in. I guess it gives it that flavor. So be careful and try to shy away. We spoke briefly on the fiber thing. You know, fruit is another one. You know, you hear a lot of people say bananas. This one got me for a while too, like bananas, apples, and all that. And yes, they do have sugar in them, but the fructose actually is processed by the liver. And as such, it's not going to create an insulin spike. It's going to do the opposite. And again, it's slow digesting because of the amount of fiber in that fruit. So it's not ideal. I still will consume a piece of fruit, but I make sure I'm getting my value of carbs, that 68 to 102 grams of carbs from this corn checks first, and then I eat in addition to that, and that's fine. But all right. So
post-workout nutrition, it's proven to be very important and effective. Don't miss it. Your window, pretty universally accepted, 30 minutes to an hour. Make it happen. I don't care if you have to pack it and take it to the gym.
Right.
No excuse. I got a shower wet, so do I. No excuse, right?
Right.
What else? Fast acting. You want your fast carbs and your fast protein. It's the only time of the day you want to eat the fast carbs and the fast protein, because it causes insulin spike, which is what you want. Puts nutrients into the muscles, refeed your body, replaces what you just burnt. That's what you want, but that's the only time you want it.
Right. And that would be like more so if you worked out in the morning versus if you worked out in the afternoon or at nighttime, because you already have those nutrients available in the body.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's a good recap. What else?
I don't know. Just stay away from those pitfalls. Stay away from those gimmicks. Again,
rice cakes got us.
Yes.
Because for, I'm going to say years, we did rice cakes thinking it was fast digesting. Then we did some research and read the labels, and we're like, oh man. We've been messing this up.
Again, they're not terrible, but they're not the best by any means. And if your intent is to create that insulin spike, well, then do it right.
It's good, better, best. Why wouldn't you do the best you can, you know?
Absolutely.
Gains are hard enough. Do the best you can to get them.
Yeah. And then one thing I'll just say, you know, if you are diabetic, pre-diabetic, have other conditions, really take that into consideration. And, you know, taking this much sugar in the morning.
Don't mess with the dextrose.
Yeah, don't mess with the dextrose.
If you're diabetic.
That is asking for the diabetes right there. So be careful with that one. You definitely want to take into consideration, you know, where you're at physically, you know, health-wise.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So I think we hit it. Post-workout nutrition.
Get your post-workout nutrition, y'all. It's important, so make sure you get it in. If you have any questions, any videos you want to see, we're here for y'all. This channel is for y'all. We're here to inspire, motivate, educate. So just leave us a comment, and we will get to the video. Thanks for tuning in, y'all.
Bye, everyone.